Your nan never bought a single bottle of fabric softener in her life, and yet her whites came off the line brighter than anything you'll ever pull from a machine today. Under her sink sat a little chemistry set, vinegar, soda crystals, a small blue bag she guarded like treasure, and with it, she ran an entire household for pennies a week. The laundry companies would much rather you forgot all of it. They've spent 60 years convincing you that you need a separate bottle for every job. But the pensioners who came up through rationing knew a secret we've been sold out of. These 25 tricks were so cheap and so effective that whole industries were built on making you abandon them. Before we start, hit subscribe, because number 1 could save you £200 a year on its own. Let's count them down. Number 25, salt to set the colors. Before every dye in the shop came pre-fixed, a new red shirt or a pair of navy trousers would bleed all over the wash and ruin everything it touched. Your nan's answer cost less than a farthing. She dissolved a good handful of ordinary table salt into the first wash of any new colored garment, and the salt locked the dye into the fibers so it stopped running. The sodium chloride reduced the dye's solubility, forcing it to bond to the cloth rather than leach into the water. A bag of salt cost tuppence and lasted months. She'd do the same with a splash of vinegar for stubborn blues and blacks. Meanwhile, we buy those little color catcher sheets at nearly £1 a box, throwing money away on a job a pinch of salt did for free in 1955. Number 24, bicarbonate of soda for the smell. Long before there was a spray promising odor-eliminating technology, there was a tin of bicarb in the cupboard. When work shirts or a musty airing cupboard blanket came up sour, your nan tipped a couple of tablespoons of bicarbonate of soda straight into the drum with the wash. The mild alkaline powder neutralized the acidic compounds that caused the smell. It didn't mask them, it chemically cancelled them. Sweat, damp, cigarette smoke, the lot. A big tub cost coppers and did 100 washes. She'd also leave an open dish of it in a drawer to keep everything fresh. Today we pay £2 or £3 for a bottle of scented spray that only hides the problem. Her bicarb removed it entirely, and it never left that cloying perfume clinging to your clothes for a week. Number 23. Chalk on the greasy collar. That ring of grime round a shirt collar and the dark smudge on a cuff used to be the bane of every wash day, and the fix was sitting in the children's pencil case. Your nan rubbed a stick of plain white chalk hard along the collar the night before the wash. The chalk is pure absorbent calcium carbonate, and overnight it drew the oil and sweat up out of the weave like a sponge, so it lifted clean the next morning instead of setting into a permanent grey line. Tailors did exactly the same with waistcoats. A box of chalk cost pennies. Now there's a whole shelf of pre-treatment sticks and sprays at £3 each doing the identical job. She knew that half the products in the laundry aisle are just cleverly branded versions of something already in the house. Number 22. Lemon juice and a day of sunshine. For whites that had gone dull and yellow, vests, pillowcases, the good tablecloth, your nan reached for a lemon, not the bleach. She'd add the juice of one to the wash, or dab it neat onto a stubborn yellow patch, then hang the item outside in direct sun. The citric acid worked as a gentle, natural bleach, and here's the clever part: sunlight supercharges it, because ultraviolet light reacts with the acid to lift the stain further. She'd lay nappies and hankies right on the grass on a bright day. A lemon cost a penny or two. It never rotted the fibers the way harsh bleach does, so sheets lasted a decade instead of thinning to holes. We buy optical whiteners now that simply trick the eye. The lemon and the sun actually removed the yellow. Number 21. Cold water and salt on blood. Every mother of small children learned this one fast, because a grazed knee meant a bloodied sock, and socks were dear. The instinct is to reach for hot water, but heat is the enemy. It cooks the protein in blood and sets the stain permanently into the cloth. Your nan did the opposite. Straight under the cold tap, then a paste of salt rubbed into the mark and left for 10 minutes before rinsing. The cold kept the protein loose and the salt drew it out of the fibers. For anything stubborn, she'd soak overnight in salted cold water. It cost nothing and saved countless garments from the rag bag. Most people today ruin a bloodstained shirt in the first 30 seconds by dropping it in a hot wash. Your nan knew the temperature mattered more than any product. Number 20. Milk to draw out ink. A leaking fountain pen in a school blazer pocket was a catastrophe, and there was no such thing as a stain remover pen to bail you out. Your nan soaked the inky patch in a bowl of ordinary milk, sometimes overnight, and the ink lifted out into the milk as if by magic. The proteins and fats in the milk bond to the ink particles and coax them out of the weave. For a fresh stain, she'd stand the fabric in a cup of milk right away. A splash of milk cost next to nothing, and it saved a blazer that cost a small fortune to replace. She'd swear by soured milk for the worst of it. It sounds like an old wives' tale until you try it, and then you understand why she never panicked over a spilled inkwell. Here's where it gets interesting. First pattern break. Number 19. Grating your own soap flakes. Before every wash was a scoop of coloured powder from a 2-litre box, your nan made her own flakes by grating a hard bar of household soap on the same grater she used for cheese. A few tablespoons of those thin curls dissolved in hot water made a full wash's worth of suds. But here's the part the soap powder companies spent millions to bury. Grated pure soap has no fillers, no bulking agents, no fabric coating chemicals, just cleaning power. In the 1950s, the big manufacturers realized bar soap was too cheap and too long-lasting to make them rich. So they poured money into advertising to make women feel that boxed powder was modern and flakes were old-fashioned. It worked. A bar cost threepence and did dozens of washes. We now pay 10 times as much per wash for powder that's half filler, sold to us as progress. Number 18. Conkers as free washing liquid. This sounds like something a child would invent, but it's real chemistry, and pensioners in the countryside swore by it. Horse chestnuts, conkers, are packed with saponins, the same natural foaming compound found in expensive eco soap nuts sold today. Your nan would gather a bag of them off the ground for nothing in autumn, chop or crush half a dozen, cover them in hot water, and leave them to steep into a cloudy liquid. That liquid, poured into the wash, cleaned clothes and produced a gentle lather without a scrap of detergent. It's completely free. It grows on every common in Britain, and it's especially kind to delicate woolens. The gardens were full of them every October. We walk past a fortune in free laundry liquid every autumn and never know it because nobody stood to make a penny teaching us. Number 17. Ivy leaves for the blacks. Keeping black wool truly black was nearly impossible with ordinary soap, which left a dulling grey film. Your nan's trick came straight out of the Victorian scullery. A handful of dark green ivy leaves torn and simmered in water for 10 minutes. Then the cooled liquid used to wash black cardigans and funeral coats. Ivy contains its own natural saponins, and crucially the dark leaf pigment revived the depth of the black rather than fading it. Black stayed black, wool stayed soft, and it cost nothing but a walk to the garden wall. Mourning clothes had to look immaculate and last for years, so this was a genuine necessity. Today we buy special dark wash detergents at a premium to do exactly what a bunch of common ivy leaves did for a family that couldn't spare a shilling. Number 16. Ox gall for the worst grease. Ask any pensioner who worked in service and they'll know this one. Ox gall, literally purified bile from cattle, bought in a small bottle from the chemist for a few pence, was the most powerful grease and stain remover in the house, and it's still used by professional art restorers today. Your nan dabbed it onto set-in fat marks, gravy, candle wax. The greasy patches soap wouldn't shift. The bile acids act as a natural emulsifier, breaking oil into tiny droplets that rinse straight out, which is precisely what modern degreasers do at 10 times the cost. It even lifted grease from delicate silks that couldn't be scrubbed. It smelled ripe, mind you, but it worked when nothing else would. We've forgotten it entirely, yet it's the ancestor of every oxy product on the shelf today. Number 15. Glycerin to soften an old stain. Sometimes a stain went unnoticed until it had dried and set hard. Old tea, dried fruit juice, a forgotten spill on a Sunday best dress. Most people gave up. Your nan reached for a small bottle of glycerin from the medicine cabinet. She'd rub it neat into the crusted stain and leave it an hour to soak in. The glycerine is a humectant. It draws moisture back into the dried stain and loosens its grip on the fibers, so an ordinary wash could then float it away. A bottle cost a few pence and lasted years, doubling as a hand softener and a cough remedy. It rescued garments everyone else had written off. Where we throw a stained shirt straight in the bin, she had a two-step method that revived it, and the whole household ran on that refusal to waste. Number 14. Turpentine for tar and grease. When one of the children came home with tar from a fresh road, or a mechanic husband brought engine grease into the wash, ordinary soap didn't stand a chance. Your nan kept a little turpentine or white spirit for exactly this. A cloth dampened with it, worked gently into the mark from the outside in, dissolved the tar and oil that water simply beads off. She'd always do it in a drafty scullery with the window open and wash the garment straight after to clear the smell. A bottle cost coppers at the ironmonger's and tackled the sort of stain that would send a modern shopper out to buy a special £5 solvent spray. It's the same solvent principle, only she paid pennies for it and knew exactly how much to use. Now here's where the companies really got involved. Second pattern break. Number 13. Borax, the band all-rounder. For 50 years, a box of borax was the single most versatile thing under a British sink. Your nan used it to boost the wash, soften hard water, lift stains, deodorize, and even soak the nappies. Half a cup in the drum, and everything came out brighter and softer, because borax raises the water's pH and helps detergent grip the dirt. It cost pennies, and one box lasted the best part of a year. So why has it all but vanished from the shelves? In 2010, the EU reclassified borax and restricted its sale as a cleaning product over safety concerns, and it quietly disappeared from the supermarket aisle almost overnight. A cheap, do-everything powder that made a dozen expensive products unnecessary was suddenly hard to find. Some pensioners still buy it in from craft suppliers. They know what they lost when it went. Number 12. Starch from the potato water. A crisp collar, a stiff tablecloth, sharp pillowcases that felt like a proper hotel. That came from starch, and your nan didn't buy it in a bottle. She saved the cloudy water left from boiling the potatoes for Sunday dinner. That water is full of dissolved potato starch, and dipping collars, cuffs and linens into it, then ironing them, gave a beautiful natural stiffness for absolutely nothing. She'd sometimes keep a little Robin or Coleman's starch for best, but the potato water was the everyday secret. Starched cloth also resists dirt, so shirts stayed cleaner longer and needed washing less often. Two savings in one. We buy aerosol spray starch now at a couple of pounds a can, quietly recreating something she poured out of the potato pan and would otherwise have tipped down the drain. Number 11. Hydrogen peroxide for the whites. Long before oxygen bleach was a marketing phrase, your nan bought a small bottle of hydrogen peroxide from the chemist and kept it for whitening. A capful in with the white wash brightened yellowed sheets and lifted sweat stains from armpits and collars without the harsh damage of chlorine bleach. It releases oxygen as it breaks down, and that oxygen is what bleaches the stain, then it turns harmlessly back into water. It was gentle enough for delicate whites that chlorine would have destroyed. A bottle cost a few pence and doubled as an antiseptic for scraped knees. That very same compound is the active ingredient in the oxy tubs we now pay a fortune for, sold as a modern breakthrough. Your nan had it in the bathroom cabinet the whole time. Number 10. Cloudy ammonia for grime. For the truly filthy, a gardener's trousers, a greasy oven cloth, the collar of a working man's shirt after a week of shifts. Your nan brought out the cloudy ammonia. A small amount added to a hot wash cut through grease and ground in grime like nothing else, because the alkaline ammonia dissolves the fats and oils that trap the dirt. She'd measure it carefully, always with a window cracked, never mixing it with bleach. A bottle from the hardware shop cost coppers and lasted an age. It also brought a shine back to woolens and lifted perspiration marks. Powerful stuff, used with respect. Today, the same cleaning job is split across 3 or 4 separate branded products, each with a premium price, when one modest bottle of ammonia did the work of them all, and then went on to clean the windows too. Number 9. Turning everything inside out. This one costs nothing, and pensioners did it without a second thought, while we've forgotten it completely. Before pegging anything on the line, your nan turned it inside out. Every coloured shirt, every pair of jeans, every printed dress. The reason was simple and clever. Sunlight fades dye, and the friction of the wash wears the outer face of the cloth. Turning a garment inside out means all that fading and abrasion happens on the hidden inner surface, while the outside you actually see stays dark and new-looking for years. The same went for the wash itself, protecting prints and buttons. It doubled the visible life of clothes that were expensive and hard to replace. We tumble everything the right way out and wonder why our blacks go grey and our jeans fade in a season. She never did. Number 8. Tea and coffee to revive the blacks. When a black skirt or a dark cardigan finally started drifting towards grey, no matter how carefully it was washed, your nan didn't throw it out. She brewed it back to life. A strong pot of black tea or coffee, cooled and added to the final rinse, gently redeposited a natural dark tannin tint onto the faded fibres and restored the depth of colour. The tannins in the tea act as a mild, cloth-friendly dye. For brown and tan garments, coffee did the same. A used tea bag she'd already had a cup from cost her nothing at all. It bought a tired garment another year or two of good wear. Where we spend on a whole new outfit, she spent the dregs of the teapot and had it looking near enough new again by the time it dried on the line. Now, the one the companies most wanted you to forget. Third pattern break. Number 7. The blue bag. If there is one thing that separates your nan's dazzling whites from your greying ones, it's the blue bag. That little muslin sack of Reckitt's Dolly Blue dunked in the final rinse was in every British home for a century. Here's the science they don't teach anymore. White cloth naturally yellows with age, and yellow is the opposite of blue on the colour wheel. So a whisper of blue in the water cancels the yellow out, and the eye reads the cloth as brilliant white. It cost twopence and lasted for months of washes. Then the detergent giants worked out they could build that same blue tint permanently into their powders as optical brighteners and charge you for it in every single box, forever. The blue bag made you self-sufficient for pennies. They needed you buying a new box every fortnight instead. So the humble blue bag quietly disappeared from the shops. Number 6. Sunlight on the line as free bleach. Your nan's tumble dryer was the sky, and it did far more than dry the clothes. Hanging the wash in direct sunshine naturally bleached and disinfected it, because ultraviolet light kills bacteria and breaks down the compounds that cause stains and smells. Whites came in brighter, nappies came in sanitized, and everything smelled of fresh air in a way no bottled linen breeze has ever matched. It was completely free. Here's where the real saving hits your pocket today. A tumble dryer is one of the most expensive appliances in the house to run, and drying outdoors instead costs you nothing at all. That single habit can knock £100 a year off an electricity bill. She dried by the sun not because it was fashionable, but because electricity was dear and the sun was free. It still is. Number 5. Boiling the whites in the copper. On wash day, your nan filled the copper, a great heated tub in the scullery, and actually boiled the whites, sheets, shirts, tea towels, nappies. It sounds like hard labor, and it was, but the results were unmatched. Boiling doesn't just clean, it sterilizes, killing every germ and dissolving grease and protein stains that a lukewarm modern wash leaves behind entirely. That's the dirty secret of today's cold, quick cycles. They're kinder to the electricity meter and your colors, but they barely touch bacteria. She'd stir the boiling wash with a wooden dolly stick, and the linen came out blindingly clean and truly hygienic. You don't need a copper, but an occasional hot wash on the whites does what she knew instinctively. That heat is a cleaner all by itself, and we've quietly abandoned it. Number 4. The green bar of household soap. Every scullery had a hard green bar of household soap, Fairy, Sunlight, or the plain carbolic kind. And it was the single most useful thing your nan owned. Wetted and rubbed straight onto a stain before washing, it pre-treated collars, cuffs, grass marks and grease better than any spray in a plastic trigger bottle today. Because it's concentrated pure soap with no water bulking it out, it grips the dirt directly. She used the same bar to hand wash delicates, to scrub the step, and to shave into flakes for the machine. One bar cost a few pence and lasted for weeks of daily use. Compare that to the shelf of single-purpose bottles we buy, a stain spray, a delicates liquid, a pre-treat gel, each one mostly water and packaging. She did all of it with one honest bar of soap. Number 3. Washing soda crystals, the workhorse. If borax was the all-rounder, soda crystals were the engine of the British wash day, and they're the cheapest cleaning product you can still buy. Your nan added a handful to every wash to soften hard water, and here's why that matters. In a hard water area, the minerals in the water stop detergent from lathering, so you end up using far more powder to get the same result. The soda crystals neutralize that hardness, so a little detergent goes a long way, an instant saving on every single wash. They also cut through grease, lifted stains, and kept the drains clear. A big bag costs about £1 and does dozens of loads. She bought one product that made every other product work better and go further. We ignore the bag on the bottom shelf and overdose on expensive powder to make up for water she'd already fixed for pennies. Number 2. Servicing the machine itself. Here's a saving nobody thinks about. Your washing machine slowly clogs with limescale, detergent sludge, and grease, which is why old machines smell musty, wash badly, and eventually break down years early. Your nan's principle, keep your tools clean and they'll last a lifetime, applies perfectly. Run an empty hot cycle with a large cup of white vinegar to dissolve the limescale and cut the grease. Then a second empty hot wash with a couple of tablespoons of bicarbonate of soda to deodorize and scrub the drum. Do it once a month. Total cost, a few pence. It keeps the machine smelling fresh, washing efficiently, and, this is the real money, running for 15 years instead of dying at 7. A new machine is hundreds of pounds. The pensioner's habit of maintaining rather than replacing is where the biggest savings of all hide. Number 1. White vinegar in the rinse. And the crown goes to the humblest bottle in the house. A cup of plain distilled white vinegar poured into the final rinse is the single most useful laundry trick your nan ever kept, and it quietly replaces half the products in your basket. It works as a fabric softener because the mild acid dissolves the detergent residue that stiffens cloth, leaving everything soft with no waxy coating. It brightens colors, strips the buildup that dulls your wash, kills the sour smell in damp towels, and descales the machine as it goes. The acid smell vanishes completely as it dries. A big bottle costs under £1 and outlasts 3 bottles of fabric softener at £3 each. That one swap alone saves a household comfortably over £200 a year, and it's gentler on your skin and your clothes than anything perfumed. She never bought softener because she never needed to. So there it is. Add up the tumble dryer, left, switched off. The softener never bought, the stain sprays never needed, the machine that lasts twice as long, and you're past £500 a year without trying. Try just one this week, the vinegar in the rinse or the blue bag on your whites, and see if your nan wasn't right all along. She knew, now you do too.